Well, I'm here supporting the work of Local 10, ILWU, and the campaign to justice for Abu-Jamal, and I'm here for that, in support of that.
And does it surprise you about the ILWU? It seems like it's one of the few unions in the United States that actually is taking action to free Mumia.
I'm not surprised. I mean, given the history of ILWU Local 10, and certainly the work it's done, it led with this, the great strike of 1935, where they shut down the ports, all from San Pedro all the way up north, and it was a major victory for labor, and so I'm not surprised at all for its history. It was ILWU members of ILWU who are the San Francisco State with us in the strike in 1968, supporting the strike for School of Ethnic Studies. So I'm not surprised at all.
I mean, this latest murder of Tyre, Nichols, I mean, it seems like it never ends. I mean, these murders and the police terror that particularly blacks face in this country. What kind of actions really need to stop it? Because it seems like it's continuing, even with the Democratic government, Democratic president.
I mean, all of us who've witnessed this, certainly we're both post-war World War children. We watched the Civil Rights Movement. We came up through that, the various other movements for justice. That's the question. I mean, right now, still with this country, even though there had been a president of African descent and certainly a vice president right now of African descent, and I think that's a major question. Will we what are the dynamics that we had talked about, need to talk about, and how do we move beyond the issue of race, and certainly it's the issue of race. But the world hasn't moved beyond that as well.
It seems like racism with the Trump and the open racist attacks, the murders of blacks, Jews. I mean, it seems like there's xenophobia. It's growing in this country and around the world.
I think that there's so many elements. You have one. That so much has happened in the 20th century. The struggles for power on the 20th century, ideologically and everything, were important struggles, and it seems as if that with all this happened, that we're still dealing with the same issues. I mean, I'm trying to say this at 77 years old nearly.
And the fight for ethnic studies at San Francisco State, and now it's under attack. They're saying that they want to take it out of the schools.
They just want to take it out. It's been removed. I mean, certainly I was such a massive strike and a very that impacted the whole question of ethnic studies. What is it going to be? The coalition that was built with Hispanic, Asian, Black, progressive whites was a major, and perhaps because of that kind of coalition, struck a lot of fear that these groups could come together and define a common goal and everything, and fight for that common goal and win. The question is win with that, every moment was to try to erode that victory, and to undermine that victory, and to demonize that victory as well. So but it's also, there were workers out here from ILWU Local 10 who were also a part of that struggle as well, who came out there and supported workers, who were the sons or the parents of those men and women who came out there who were part of the BSU and part of the coalition as well. So there is, but all we do, and we continue to be out here. We continue to come to these events. You know, we begin to free, you know, Abu-Jamal. You know, we continue to do that, but we have to do that. And I mean, that's what they said. You have no choice but to do that. You know, if we're going to be talking about change, and you would hope at some particular point in time, Steve, I don't have any.
Well, it seems like it's still a struggle in the labor movement because, I mean, when Trump was launching this racist campaign against immigrants, against blacks, against Asians, the AFL-CIO, the top leadership of the unions, were completely silent. And, you know, even from Mumia, I mean, it seems the Labor Council in San Francisco, there was a motion to endorse this rally, and they said they didn't want to do it. And why aren't the unions mobilizing for Mumia? Why aren't the unions mobilizing in action against the escalating racist attacks and murders that are going on?
I want to. I mean, if I had a crystal ball, I can tell you, but it's. You know, I remember The Leopard, Burt Lancaster, the Italian movie, about The Leopard, just about the time of the unification of Italy. And I remember Burt Lancaster playing the, you know, the stereotypical maybe, or not so stereotypical, landowner, and he said something, there's a line in it that always struck me when I saw that movie. He said things must change in order to remain the same. So maybe the idea of the illusion of change, and it's probably, but if we're dealing with it, you know, we had a black president. He makes a lot of money. He made a lot of money. He fulfilled that objective and everything else. That it changed the dynamics for poor people and African descendants and people of color. You know.
So the ILWU is raised.
Here we are with Buzz and I. Buzz and I knew each other from the time we were 19 years old. We're both 76 years old. And yes, I encourage young people that are here, that are part of that, young workers that are excited or are active in this process right here. But the question becomes, you can't do anything else except keep coming out and keep talking and telling truth to power, talking truth to power.